ye first the kingdom of heaven, and everything will be added unto you. What does this mean to you, this Bible verse? Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and everything will be added unto you. Christ, don't you know that Christ lives within you? Seek ye first the kingdom within you, and then everything will be added unto you. If you fix yourself, like Neville Goddard said, do not go around trying to change people. Change yourself within you, and your world will reflect that change. Change your concept, your state of consciousness, and then you will shift to another world where it'll be emulating something different. Seek ye first the kingdom, and everything will be added unto you. The symbolic nature of the Bible. Okay, remember this, because this is the sole basis. The Bible was written in such a long time ago in Eastern symbolism that it was written in a way where it's very hard to understand, but most of it cannot be taken literal. This is what this is saying to you in the Bible, that you must change yourself within in order to see the simulation change, that you use your imagination. Use your imagination. Go pray to God in secret, in the dark, in meditation, and assume a state and fall asleep in that state, and it will be awarded unto you. Find and figure out the person that you love and admire, that you look up to in your life, and emulate that person. Be that person. Change within yourself. Step into this new person. Step into this new personality and be that person now, because that's the kingdom of heaven is within you. It's described all through the Bible. Become that version of you now, and your world has to change with it. Has to change. So ask yourself, who are you now? Who do you feel yourself being right now in the present moment? I mean, take a minute and really think about this. Because everything in your world is as it is because of who you truly feel and consent to being true of your world within the kingdom of heaven. Because that's why it says, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven. Before you try to change anything within the simulation, you must go within yourself, inside your imagination, and make those changes first. Otherwise, nothing's going to change. Your world won't change until you first change yourself. Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and then your world will reflect that change. Everything will be added unto you. Everything. I had to figure this out the hard way. But I'm here trying to give you different examples and try to give you this knowledge of how this all works. The person that I was before I went to prison, I was emulating. I didn't know all this stuff. I wasn't a good person. I didn't care about other people. I didn't care about myself. I didn't care about any of that. So my world reflected that change. It sent me to prison. I went to prison where nobody cared about nobody. And that's who I was. So I was sent there. But in order to change that, I had to seek ye first the kingdom, which was in me. I figured out what the issue was, and it was within me. And I even spent a lot of time trying to change the exterior world without changing myself. Arguments with people, fighting with people, trying to actually physically change and alter my world, but it never changed until I first changed myself within. Don't you know that Christ lives within you in the kingdom of heaven? Seek ye first the kingdom. Christ lives within you. Everything will be added unto you. The law of assumption, assuming yourself to already be the person that you desire, that's already living in the world they want to live in. So that's the kingdom within yourself, within your own mind, okay? Within your own mind, you become this version of yourself that is already experiencing everything that you want, and then everything is added unto you. Everything is added in your world at that point. And it's basically the law of assumption is being taught within the Bible in symbolic language. The magical part of it with imagination, and that you're living in a simulation. But the biggest part that I get out of this is that you don't need to stress, you don't need to worry. Because if all you have to do is seek the kingdom within yourself to make changes in your life, then it's up to you. There's no one outside of you trying to harm you or hurt you or play games with you or test you. There's nothing outside of you doing that. It's all within you. You're creating your world based on what you consent to being true. And you can change that at any point by changing yourself, by using the law of assumption, by getting yourself into this new feeling state. By getting into new states of consciousness, your world has to reflect that change. It has to mirror that back to you. Remember that. You don't have to stress. You don't have to worry anymore. You don't have to fear anything. Because your current situation, whatever you're going through, can change at any moment. When you seek the kingdom, instead of projecting, instead of trying to manipulate and change your world and argue and try to, physically change it, you have to spiritually change it. You have to spiritually change your world in order for it to change. And once you spiritually change it, you'll be in a different state of consciousness where you're acting within a new state of consciousness automatically, because like we talked about before, you don't have free will to act outside of your current state of consciousness. But as you make spiritual changes in the inner world, you automatically have new ideas and make new actions. And you're more grateful. If you create a grateful version of yourself, that leads to action as well. That's what I believe about gratitude, is what I've learned. Being in prison for so long, getting out, and then being grateful just to be able to have privacy, to be able to get cold water, ice cubes, to be able to walk outside whenever I want to have my own refrigerator, make the food that I want to make, not have to live in danger, in these things all the time. When I got out, I had I was so grateful, and it caused me to take so much action in my world. Every opportunity that presented itself to me, I took that action because of my state of consciousness of being grateful. So remember that a state of gratitude is a very high level state of consciousness, which you're going to act within. Your free will to act is based on your current state of consciousness. And if you are grateful for your world, you're going to get new ideas. You're going to act differently. You're going to walk through doors that you never would have walked through before. And you're also going to have doors that are going to open that never would have opened for you before, because you're shifting your realities. You've seeked first the kingdom, and then everything was added unto that kingdom. So what kingdom are you creating for yourself? What kingdom right now are you creating for yourself? Because that is what's going to be added to you. Remember that, the actual Bible language. Seek ye first the kingdom. So what kingdom are you seeking within yourself? What's the kingdom like within you? Okay, who are you? What's the kingdom? Because that's the world that's being added unto you. That's the world that's being added unto you, as it's stated in the Bible. So remember that as it relates to the law of assumption, as it relates to quantum physics, as it relates to any issues that you have in your life. If you're in a state of gratitude and you change your states of consciousness, your world's going to reflect that change. You don't need to stress. You don't need to worry anymore. Write that stuff down and remember that the world is a simulation being projected from within you, and that's the only reason why this Bible verse works. These things work because if everything wasn't within you, and you weren't living in a high-tech simulated game, a simulation, then changing the inner world and changing your imagination wouldn't change the simulation. It would be all physical. But because it's not real, it all is being created from within you. Don't you know that Christ lives in you? It's all spoken through the Bible. And the reason why the simulation, how to change the simulation, is simply by changing your inner states, your states of consciousness. Changing the kingdom within you, and your world will reflect that change. It's not as difficult as you think either. It can be very, very simple. It can be very simple, and the knowledge of it can change your life simply just by knowing what to do. Just by knowing about it and starting and changing your belief systems, changing what you consent to being true. Because once you truly understand that you're living in a simulation, that can automatically change a lot of things for you, because you're going to shift to another world. You're changing the kingdom, because essentially the kingdom is who you feel like you are and what you consent to being true of your world. And when your world changes to this degree, your belief systems and what you consent to being true, you now believe that you're living in a simulation, then your world kind of has to do what you want it to do at that point, because now you know, and because past beliefs change, like the Bible says, be more childlike. That's how you seek the kingdom. Be more childlike. What is a child like? Okay. A child's in flow state. The children are new to the world, just like my flow state exercise. You're brand new to the world. That's more childlike. Flow state. Okay. You just landed here on your spaceship. You have this brand new idea about yourself. You've now changed the kingdom. You seek the kingdom within yourself. Seek ye first the kingdom, and then everything was added unto you. Being more childlike. Being more childlike. So that's the take I want to give you. Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven within you. And your world, everything will be added unto you. You will attract everything to come to you in your world once you change the inner world. Change the inner world, the outer world will reflect that change. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one.